Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 60 seconds. Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 30 seconds. Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual, Dr. Michael Lange of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins, here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic. I've been hosting Ask the Doctor, gosh, in a week, it'll be 30 years. So time flies when you're having fun. Take advantage of this program. It is dedicated to you, the listener. But remember, it never replaces a comprehensive eye evaluation or a medical evaluation. This is for educational purposes only. There, my attorneys are very happy now. Phone lines are 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. I want to mention that we're still running the BOGO, buy one, get one free, for Fortifeye Super Omega and for the Fortifeye Strawberry Watermelon Cream Fit. So it's until next week. Get it now. BOGO means buy one, get one free. It's a great deal on the Super Omega because remember, the Super Omega expires next month. It really doesn't expire next month. Same lot number that expires 6 months later. So it's still good to go. It doesn't blow up when the expiration date goes away. So Fortifeye Super Omega, buy one, get one free automatically when you order at fortifeye.com. And the Strawberry Watermelon Cream, we're just trying to reduce the inventory a little bit and let you try something that's amazing. It doesn't expire for a long time, and that's a BOGO as well. So we got a great show planned today, all right? We have some guests that are dear to me. We have a guest that is no newbie to talk radio, and that is Dr. Karen Hecht, and she is with Astareal Astaxanthin, the leading manufacturer of an antioxidant that I just love called astaxanthin. It is the most potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory nutrient that we know of. We use it in a lot of our Fortifeye supplements. And so Dr. Hecht has been a guest many times. We've done some podcasts together and some videos together. So I'm going to welcome her in just a second. And then Mandy Baker, who's the director of marketing for Fortifeye Vitamins. She's here again, and you can see them live video waving on the video screens there. You can watch us all over social media. We're coast to coast on the radio right now. And also don't forget to sign up for our newsletter on the website. So sometimes we test different radio shows and different radio markets and we go on for 6 months and then we go off, but you can always stay connected if you go to fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, fortifeye.com, and go to the bottom of the page, sign up for the newsletter. It's real quick. We'll send you educational information. We'll send you, promos that we're running and things of this nature. All right, let's get on with the program. Good morning, Dr. Hecht. Good morning, Mandy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So first off, Dr. Hecht, why don't you introduce you? There's a lot of people listening out there from California to Florida, Pennsylvania, and everywhere in between that, haven't seen or listened to you before. since we're on these new stations, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be back. Thank you, Dr. Lange, for welcoming me back. My name's Karen Hecht. I'm the Scientific Affairs Manager at Astareal, the premier astaxanthin manufacturer. We grow our algae that the astaxanthin comes from in Washington State. And it's my job to help you understand all the science. We have 70 plus human clinical studies on astaxanthin, and that number is always growing. We're continuously investing in new research to understand astaxanthin better and bring you more benefits.
And as Mandy knows, we did a lot of research years and years ago trying to determine what astaxanthin we were going to use in our products. And, our Fortifeye Focus, our Focus and Brain, our Advanced Retina Formula, our Fortifeye Fit, our Game Extreme, our Next Gen Complete, all utilize astaxanthin. And there's a lot of manufacturers out there that use astaxanthin. Mandy, it was quite the effort on our part to find the right astaxanthin, wasn't it?
It surely was. And it's been a great team with Karen and her team. They're just amazing. It's a very powerful, one of my favorite ingredients that we have, that we use, that we incorporate in almost all of our supplements. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
I love it.
It has some amazing benefits, and we're going to talk about those with literally, in my opinion, one of the world's leading authorities on astaxanthin. That's Dr. Karen Hecht.
She is.
Yep.
She is. I went home and bragged about her last night after dinner. She's a rock star.
We're going to have to open up that door. She won't be able to get out.
I know. I'll build her up. She's great.
So if anybody's got questions regarding astaxanthin especially, remember, astaxanthin is what gives wild Alaskan salmon its orange color. And that's one of the reasons I say wild salmon is a power food. How much salmon do you have to eat, though, to get the right amount of astaxanthin, Dr. Hecht?
A lot. So if you want to get 6 milligrams a day, which is what is in Fortifeye Focus, you would have to eat 12 fillets of wild king salmon every single day.
That's a lot of astaxanthin. It's a lot of a lot of salmon. That's a lot of money. So once again, that's our Fortifeye Focus. That was our first supplement that we incorporated astaxanthin into, 6 milligrams of Astareal Astaxanthin, along with lutein and zeaxanthin. And we're going to expand on a new product a little bit in a few minutes, our Focus and Brain, which we simply added a patented form of acetylcholine called cognizine. And we're going to talk about the powers of that and how astaxanthin really helps with cognitive and brain health as well. But we're going to take the first caller. Bob's been biting at the bit. He's been on hold for a little bit. Let's see what Bob has to say. Bob, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, doctors. Pleasure to talk to you on a Saturday morning. It's a little foggy up here in the Bellevue, Ocala area this morning, but otherwise, pleasant day. I have always, I call in long before I hear what the topic of the day is going to be. So unfortunately, I cannot move into that conversation, although I would like to. I saw an advertisement where people put it looks like a bandage, a white bandage on the bottom of their foot at bedtime. And in the morning they wake up, peel this thing off, and it's coal black. And they say that it's removing toxins from the body. This has been around for a long time, and my curiosity has just gotten the best of me. Is this a valid point, doctor?
Well, all right. So it's been around for a while. It has. It's a patch you put it, like you said, on the bottom of the foot. I think it has activated charcoal in it too. And remember, charcoal is darkly pigmented. So the question is, are these toxins that are coming out of your foot, or is it the charcoal that's giving you the dark color? So the whole idea behind this, their claims, it draws toxins out of the body while you sleep. And we know that you sweat while you sleep, and the foot, sweats while you sleep. So, if you sweat, then toxins can come out. But I've seen some claims for this, Bob. Remember what your mama said, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Now, I'm not knocking this because that really promote the evidence of this. That doesn't mean it's not good. But they claim, I've seen some advertisements where they claim that it treats, the manufacturers treat high blood pressure, headaches, depression, diabetes, weight loss, insomnia, things of this nature. I think it's probably relatively safe. The question is it really doing anything? You peel it off and you have this dark color, and is it toxins that is pulling out? I think saunas are good, infrared saunas, heated saunas, steam rooms. I think there is some clinical evidence from these. I think if you sweat, there is some clinical evidence that it can potentially remove some toxins. I just haven't seen a lot of great science about that. I don't know if Dr. Heck has.
I've not either. I know that activated charcoal does bind a lot of metals and it's used in other systems as a filter, but yeah, I'm not aware of any data to support that.
There you
Well,
go, Bob.
I've never seen even a weak comparison of what it looks like on Monday versus what this patch looks like on Friday.
Right.
So just curiosity. Thank you, doctors. I appreciate that.
All
I
right,
wasn't
Bob.
about to buy it anyhow. I just curious.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Have a good one.
Thank you, doctors. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bob's been calling the show since before you've been a guest. Karen.
Oh,
And you've been a
wow.
guest for 7 years, I think, now.
Oh my gosh, has it been that? You're right.
And he's
We
been
talked
calling
about-
for
yeah, it
probably
has been.
20 years. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that brings up something about kind of like chelation therapy. I want to just address a caller from last week if she's listening in Pensacola. I forgot your name, but you'd called and told me that you had somebody you knew that had elevated iron in the blood. That's called hemochromatosis, and that's when the body absorbs more iron than it can actually use. All right, and it can cause multiple organ failures. And if I recall, your friend was drinking a lot of beer too. So I definitely recommend stopping the beer. All right, because alcohol can create problems if you have elevated iron. Also, no iron supplements, all right? No beta carotene, believe it or not. Don't cook in those cast iron pans. Cut back on the red meat, and certainly don't eat any liver, calf liver or chicken liver. So there is a diet that can help with hemochromatosis. But I did mention something last week, and I said take extra vitamin C, and I wasn't thinking clearly, I guess, at the time. Extra vitamin C, in my opinion, was going to take the circulating iron and make it absorb more. So it would decrease circulating iron, but it makes it absorb more. So that might not be the best thing. So I kind of take that back, the whole vitamin C. So I recommend not taking vitamin C if you have elevated iron. All right. There is a list of foods that you shouldn't eat, and there's a list of foods that you can eat. But turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, calcium, quercetin, and resveratrol can actually help block the iron absorption. But you can go to a website. I'm going to give you this website, and then anybody with elevated iron, go to this website. It goes over everything in detail, much more than I would. Hemochromatosis.com, hemochromatosis.com. Good. I feel better now because I never like to give the wrong information to anybody. All right. Phone lines are open. 1-877-969-8600. We've got Dr. Karen Hecht and Mandy Baker from Fortifeye Vitamins and Dr. Karen Hecht from Astareal Astaxanthin. If you've got any questions, give us a call. 1-877-969-8600. Also, any questions regarding your vision or eye care, I'm here to answer those questions. So Dr. Somerton is off today, and Dr. Hall is off today too. They're enjoying some time off from the slave master here. All right. So we started off talking a little bit about Fortifeye Focus, how we developed Fortifeye Focus to help with the eye. And we've talked about that with Dr. Hecht many times, about how astaxanthin can improve accommodative ability and focusing ability, increase circulation to the eye. But more recent research suggests and actually proves in many studies now that astaxanthin may have some brain benefits. Let's expand on that because that's kind of exciting. You know, as we get older, I'm getting older. Heck, my mom's 96, so she's getting older. We want to do everything we can to slow down brain deterioration and cognitive decline and things of this nature.
Right. So it's eyes and brain are connected. And we know that astaxanthin crosses the blood-retinal barrier. It also crosses the blood-brain barrier. And it's a really powerful antioxidant with some anti-inflammatory properties. It boosts blood flow, and it's also found in mitochondria. So it helps to promote mitochondrial health. So what we've seen is in a dish, if you take human cortical neuron cells and you treat them with hydrogen peroxide, which causes oxidative damage, only about 64% of those cells survive in a dish based on this study. But when they pre-treated those neurons with astaxanthin in vitro, that means in a dish again, then 90% of the cells survived. So what we're seeing here is that astaxanthin is helping to neutralize the free radicals produced by hydrogen peroxide application in a dish and helping those cells survive. So it's got neuroprotective properties based on this study. That's not the only way that it's working, obviously, in vivo, and things that we do in a test tube just help us understand the mechanism of action. And we always need to run those human clinical studies to understand if the effect is visible, right? And so they've done that at 12 milligrams it was a natural astaxanthin. They ran a clinical study where individuals were doing a cog health a test on the computer. They were shown different cards and asked to remember different properties of the cards. And what they found was that astaxanthin actually improved the working memory in these individuals by 7%, improved their reaction time to working memory tasks, and also improved their accuracy in tasks that tested their delayed recall. So we're seeing improvements in cognitive performance in both of those cases. And there's another study that looked at astaxanthin together with a form of vitamin E called tocotrienols that asked people, how do they feel after a mental test and a physical test in the way of subjective symptoms of fatigue, both mental fatigue, mood, and also physical fatigue. And the participants in that study in the astaxanthin group felt significant improvements in these subjective symptoms. So we're addressing, nourishing the brain, bringing more blood flow to the brain, which is increasingly important as we age. Our endogenous antioxidant capacity is reduced as we age, and astaxanthin is, one of these powerful dietary antioxidants that helps to compensate that. And there's also this effect in mitochondria, which we're starting to see and understand better as more studies come out of how astaxanthin is actually helping to protect mitochondrial health and also promote fat utilization for energy, which is a more efficient energy source. And that means that your energy system and the bioenergetics throughout the body, not just the brain, but also in the brain and the eye, which are very metabolically active tissues, is being helped by astaxanthin supplementation.
So these studies are indicating possibly, I might be jumping the horse here, but that we can maybe actually take astaxanthin and it helps us to burn fat versus carbohydrates?
Yeah, there are studies that suggest that. There have been studies in rodent models for quite some time demonstrating this increased fat utilization, reduced carbohydrate utilization. And the reason that's important is because you get 6 times more ATP out of 1 gram of fat compared to 1 gram of carbohydrates. So this is really an endurance and energy management story. And we now also have studies in humans that show, for example, in cyclists riding 40 kilometers, astaxanthin promoted fat utilization at the 40-kilometer mark. And also a brand new study, Wicca et al., that just came out that looked at overweight individuals starting an exercise program. And they showed that astaxanthin helped to reduce heart rate over the course of the exercise session by 7% and also reduce carbohydrate oxidation by 8%. So we're really helping with the cardiometabolic function, helping mitochondria be more efficient.
And that's another reason why we use astaxanthin in our Fortifeye Fit. We took the 9 latest sports nutrient ingredients and combined them all to help with muscle endurance, to help with muscle strength, to help with muscle synthesis, help with skin health, all of that in our Fortifeye Fit. Now, remember, folks, BOGO means buy one, get one free. Fortifeye.com. Strawberry watermelon cream is the one that is buy one, get one free, not on the fruit punch, because we want to let everybody try our new flavors. So strawberry watermelon cream has the astaxanthin along with a lot of other good nutrients to help build muscle strength, endurance, and actually help with skin health and a lot of other things, ligaments, tendons, and joints, due to the combination of this synergy. And we have literally thousands of people taking Fortifeye Fit now. So check it out. And then, of course, the astaxanthin is our new Fortifeye Focus and Brain. And we're going to talk about that more, but we're going to take some phone calls. We're getting loaded up here. Let's go to Tom in Bradenton. Tom, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning to you. You're welcome. My question is that I have macular degeneration, and the macula is completely gone now. Now, for many years, I was taking the eye vitamins that have the AREDs, et cetera, in there. I'm wondering whether I still need to be taking that, even though the macula is gone, so I really don't have any need to for vitamins for the eye.
Well, I would absolutely still continue taking it. And the reason for that is the nutrients that are in a good eye supplement or whole body supplement aren't just for the eye, aren't just for the macula, but for the optic nerve, the peripheral retina. Okay. Remember, you still have peripheral vision. You just have lost your central vision. Okay. And then, Tom, also for the brain, remember, we see with the brain, the eye is the organ that transmits it to the brain. So we want to keep your brain working well. So when we have some new generation technology, as a matter of fact, there's just FDA approval for macular degeneration, people that have atrophy of the macula, geographic atrophy, that's advanced dry form of macular degeneration. There are some FDA approved, I'm pretty sure it just got FDA approved treatments for that now. So we still want to have the body nutrified to the fullest extent. So maybe some of this technology will help you. So you never want to stop, proper nutrition. You want to keep exercising, lean body, keep plenty of sleep, hydrate, the right diet. And you still sound pretty young. Tom, how old are you?
I'm 76.
Yeah, you're young. You got a quarter of a century
right.
ahead of you. So never give up hope. Now, I don't recommend taking some of these ones that are promoted over the counter that have 80 milligrams of zinc oxide, okay? Because we were involved in some studies, some DNA studies that actually proved that based on your DNA, your specific allele, your specific DNA, many people out there, that 80 milligrams of zinc is way too much for them. So, we have a product called Advanced Retina Formula that has the astaxanthin and only has 30 milligrams of zinc monomethithione. And then we have also Macular Defense that has, much less zinc in it. So I'd be very careful taking a traditional kind of AREDS 2 formula unless your doctor has prescribed it and you're finding a doctor that is in tune with the latest science, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep the faith.
I will, and have a good day, and I appreciate you taking my call.
All right, Tom. Bye-bye. All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctors this morning, Dr. Karen Hecht and myself, Dr. Michael Lange. If you got a question, give us a call, 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. You can see me, Dr. Caputi, Dr. Somerton, and Dr. Hall at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida. You can learn more if you go to drmichaellange.com, drmichaellange.com. The Villages, Florida, I'll give you the phone number for the Villages. That's 352-753-4014. One more time, 352-753-4014. And anything we talk about in this program, you can look at the science and the research we have under each supplement at fortifeye.com. So a lot of the studies under the science under Fortifeye Focus or under Fortifeye Focus and Brain. So check it out at fortifeye.com. That's FORTIFEYE, fortifeye.com. And also I want to welcome Arlene back. Arlene is back in the saddle at Fortifeye Nutrition Center in Clearwater. I'll be there today at 1 o'clock, not at 12:30, 1 o'clock till probably 3. So come on out and we'll talk and talk a lot about nutrition, talk a lot about astaxanthin. The phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins is 866-503-9746. One more time, 866-503-9746. All right, we're going back to the phones. Steve in Clearwater. Steve, good morning.
Yeah, one thing interesting about astaxanthin, when some product comes out, some new nutritional, there's always a pro and a con. People argue whether the supplement's good or not so good or anything. The thing about astaxanthin is I've never seen a negative report on or anybody say anything negative about it. That's almost unheard of for any other supplement in the past. And secondly, the body uses you have 3 types of white blood cells, or 5 times. Macrophages, neutrophils, basophils. Well, macrophages, the mechanism by which they kill fungal infections is by engulfing the fungus and then a burst of hydrogen peroxide to kill it. Could astaxanthin, and I'm sorry about this, but it's just something to think about, could astaxanthin inhibit macrophage function and make it less capable, these cells less capable of killing fungal fungal infections.
Steve, I love your questions. They're always so good. It's great to hear from you again. And I'm happy to report that there is a study that looked at exactly that. And interestingly, although it reduced oxidative stress, it also improved macrophage function when
Oh,
challenged.
really?
Yes.
Really?
So this comes back to the fact that we're talking about a balance, a redox homeostasis, a redox balance.
Mhm.
We're not eliminating free radicals here. We're just reducing the effect potentially of oxidative stress. So there's a number of conditions, physiological, conditions, environmental exposures, exertion, if you're an endurance athlete, or aging, that really just increase free radicals beyond the body's capacity to address them.
Right.
And you're right. I mean, free radicals are not the bad guy, not blanketly evil. There's a lot of ways in which free radicals are important in the body. Macrophages use them, yes. Also, natural killer cells, as part of the innate immune response. Also, free radicals are involved in adaptation to exercise. But too many free radicals can then damage immune cells and also reduce force production in the muscle. So it's really about keeping that balance. Where are we and how are we tipping the scales? And dietary antioxidants really serve just to give your body that extra boost that it needs to maintain redox homeostasis. And I have the similar argument as what you made for immune function. I've heard from, sports nutrition specialists saying, well, Karen, you need free radicals for adaptation to exercise. And that's absolutely true. But what we've seen in the clinical studies is that astaxanthin actually boosts the effects of physical training. And both in the Malmston study, training paramedics, and also in a study done at the University of Washington in individuals 65 plus, the people that combined exercise training together with astaxanthin saw better results than those who are just undergoing the exercise training on its own. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting question in research about metabolic flexibility, about redox homeostasis. What is that tipping point? And it's certainly different for everyone. But I think the takeaway is when you're taking dietary antioxidants, you're not eliminating free radicals. They will always be there. And the amount that you need is not so high. And so I don't think that that's a concern. And I'm happy to share that study. I'll have to dig it up for you, Steve, and send it to Dr. Lange here to show you that macrophage study.
Well, one thing I think would be very interesting is to do a cognitive test on, how you have a cardiac stress test?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could have a brain stress test. And what you
Yes.
do is you'd have someone get on a treadmill, especially older people, and work out for 3 minutes. Then get them off the treadmill and immediately give them a mental test. Within seconds, you start the mental test. And to see if there's a difference under, the metabolic stress versus astaxanthin people versus non-astaxanthin people.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd give them, it would be like a brain stress.
Yeah. I've seen studies like that. We have one. It's Hongo et al. 2016. It was 12 milligrams astaxanthin, 20 milligrams tocotrienols, and they did it in the opposite way. They gave them a mental test first. They had to do mental math addition, and then they they were riding on a stationary bike, and they did that subjective questionnaire, but they also looked at their performance in that mental math exercise. So they did 15 minutes mental math, 5-minute break, and then another 15 minutes. And mental fatigue should have set in that second 15-minute round. And in fact, the placebo group made something like, on average, 3 more mistakes on average through the group compared to the first, whereas the astaxanthin group performed just as well in the second round as in the first round.
Wow. And one quickie question, then I'll have the courtesy to let someone else on. Does lycopene, most people, the biggest carotenoid they have is lycopene. They eat a lot, they eat tomatoes. They eat, yeah. Does that interfere with astaxanthin absorption? Are they competitive or non-competitive?
I haven't seen any data showing that they do compete. And I've looked at some data looking at lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin and showing that they do not compete. There's a little bit of difference in how they're circulated. So all of these carotenoids get packaged up in lipoprotein particles in the liver, and then they get shunted around the circulatory system. They go into high density and low density lipoprotein particles, and the ones that are more polar tend to go in more in one type versus the other. So I think because astaxanthin is more hydrophobic, it might be distributing in a slightly different place, but that's not been really borne out. I've not seen a study directly comparing lycopene and astaxanthin, but based on what I've seen for non-competing with lutein and zeaxanthin, maybe it's not a concern. But yeah, again, I haven't seen a study.
All right.
Well, thank you. And like I said before, you're doing God's work, because what you're doing is making a lot of people a lot healthier and a lot happier.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Really
We
great.
appreciate
God
that
bless.
call. Take
Okay.
good care. All
Bye.
right. Listening to Ask the Doctors, give us a call, 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. I'm Dr. Michael Lange of the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida, and Fortifeye Vitamins. Give us a call one more time, 1-877-969-8600. So from a little bit of that conversation, I take it that astaxanthin makes exercise better for us.
Yeah, that's right. And not just for muscles, for brain, it seems like too. Preclinical studies have shown, that we've known since I think 2009 that adult brains can actually create new neurons in the hippocampus. We used to think that didn't happen. Exercise promotes neurogenesis in the adult brain. And there was a preclinical study in a rodent model where they combined mild exercise together with astaxanthin supplementation. They actually saw a synergistic effect on neurogenesis in the hippocampus. So exercise alone increased new neurons by 60%. Astaxanthin alone increased neurons by 60%. But you combine them together and you get 130% increase. Wow. So not additive, right? In that case, synergistic. So it'd be really interesting to see if human clinical studies show the same. But we already know that just astaxanthin by itself is good for your brain, and that it actually does boost the effect of exercise training on muscle performance.
And this is why we used astaxanthin when we were researching Fortifeye Fit. We use astaxanthin as one of the 9 ingredients in Fortifeye Fit, along with creatine, collagen, branched chain amino acids, clusterdextrin, L-citrulline, velocitol, D-ribose, and betaine anhydrose. So to make the 9, to make that cut, has to be a very good nutrient. And we're talking about why astaxanthin is in many of the Fortifeye supplements, including the Fortifeye Fit. Now, Fortifeye Fit, once again, is a BOGO, buy one, get one free. Mandy, I'm going to let you chime in on this because we've been running that BOGO for a couple of weeks now.
We have.
On the Fortifeye Fit and the Super Omega. It's been pretty big, hasn't it?
Oh, I can't keep it on the shelf. It's huge. Right. I mean, I don't know how many times we've had to ship more up to Ocala. It's huge. And even online, it's great. People are loving it. They love the taste. It's great.
So Mandy is at the Lange Nutrition Center in Ocala, and she's also the head of marketing for the Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. She's also oftentimes the one on the call with Mandy, and she's also directly responsible for a lot of the educational emails that you get and the promos that you send out. So Mandy, you've been pretty busy since you joined the team again.
I have not stopped. It's been very busy. Yes. Well, I love it. It's great. It's great to be back. I'm enjoying every day.
The Fortifeye family really appreciates all you do. All right, we're getting ready to go to the next call. Then we're going to talk with something a lot of our listeners are in the Villages or in Florida, basically, where this is the geriatric capital of the world, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about sarcopenia, that's muscle wasting, and how there's some evidence that maybe astaxanthin can help that. So all of you out there that maybe are losing some muscle tone, getting a little flabbier, not as strong as you used to be, and we're going to talk with one of the leading authorities on this in just a minute with astaxanthin. But let's go back to the phones. We got Margaret in Clearwater. Margaret, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning. I have comments on 2 benefits and also a question about dosing. You haven't discussed how wonderful it is for your skin. And I was taking care of an elderly relative who was in his 80s, and it gives you an endurance that it's not like taking an energy drink. You can just be strong all day. I don't know how else to put it. Then my question was about the dosing. I have been taking 2 4-milligram tablets since Astareal came out, like decades ago, and I hear her talking about 12. Is it better to take 2 at once, or do breakfast, lunch, and dinner before or after exercise? How does one take 12 milligrams a day?
That's a great question. So we do see a dose-dependent effect in some studies, some eye studies that compared lower doses and higher doses. And most of our cardiovascular health benefits and cognitive health benefits come in at 12 milligrams. And so generally so let me just like back up half a step here to say that astaxanthin is a carotenoid. So all those things in your food and your fruits and vegetables that have the yellows, oranges, and red colors, those are all carotenoids. So we talked a little bit earlier in the show about beta carotene from carrots and lycopene from tomatoes. So 90% of your carotenoids comes from fruit and vegetable. Astaxanthin is a carotenoid, but it's not found in any of the fruits and veggies that we eat. It's found in red colored seafoods like salmon, which is why we talked about 6 milligrams being equivalent to 12 fillets of king salmon, right? So it's a lot harder to get astaxanthin in your diet, which is why we need to supplement. But the astaxanthin in your supplement doesn't come from salmon or any animal source. It comes from algae. And this is a naturally occurring algae that we grow in Washington State that make astaxanthin in the wild, right? So when we take astaxanthin, because it's a fat-soluble nutrient, a carotenoid, it's best to take it together with a meal or within 30 minutes after a meal if you're taking it as a soft gel. So a soft gel is tiny, and if you take it in an empty stomach, there's not much to prime your gut to absorb it. So if you're taking, if you've been taking a 4 milligram dose and you want to increase it, go ahead. You can try and take it a 12 milligram or two 6 milligram soft gels or 3 4 milligram soft gels at once with a meal and see how your body reacts, because most people absorb it just fine at 12 milligrams and it's not an issue. But every once in a while, some people aren't able to completely absorb it, the stool. So if that is happening to you, then I would recommend splitting it up, 6 milligrams with a meal in the morning, 6 milligrams with a meal in the evening. That's fine. For me personally, it's not an issue, and grams issue with 12 milligrams.
Right.
So yeah, just that's what
I have 4 milligram tablets, and I've been taking 2 together once a day, and so I can probably take 3.
Yeah, probably.
Now, Margaret, is it just astaxanthin, or are there other things in it?
I'll have to look at the bottle, but this is from Purity, and that's I'm on an auto ship.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that there's not a lot of other nutrients that if you're taking 3 of them might be too much. So I'm thinking like niacin or something that could cause you to flush. So just to see what the other ingredients are.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm checking real quick here. I don't think
it's astaxanthin and in that formulation. So yeah, should be fine. But I just wanted you to be aware and keep an eye out because you don't want to waste it, right? So that was a pun intentionally. And so you would want to split it up.
Yeah. There's nothing like niacin in there at all.
Okay.
No,
Good.
that's great. Well, I'm so happy to hear that you're feeling some benefits from it. You did mention some skin health benefits. We do have studies absolutely there. And I would say that that's probably one of the most popular applications of astaxanthin is to support hydration, elasticity, and smoothness in skin. So I'm glad that
you don't get wrinkles.
Well,
I'm going to be 80 this year. You can't say that, but I.
Yeah, I think it's slow. It does help to support both your collagen producing cells, which are the skin cell fibroblasts in the dermis. It helps to support existing collagen networks. And when those break down, that's what leads to wrinkles. So we have a really cool 16-week study where women were taking astaxanthin for 16 weeks while there was a seasonal change. So they were going from summer through winter, and the humidity was lowering and generally low skin. That inflammation on the skin surface communicates down to the deeper layers of skin and triggers degradation of collagen networks. And so what they found in that study was that, as expected, the placebo group had over the course of the 16 weeks, but the astaxanthin group had no significant changes in wrinkles and maintained their skin condition in that study. So yeah, it's a really good preventative measure. And again, what you're doing is this antioxidant is going throughout the body. It has whole body benefits. Each of these studies focuses on one specific set of benefits because studies need to focus in on specific endpoints. But what we're finding is that again, it's not, if think of it like the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean aren't isolated. They're connected, right? It's a system of water. Your body's the same way. It's a system, and astaxanthin is this multi-system intervention, just like diet and exercise are multi-system interventions. There's no reason to expect to see benefits in only one area if it's going all over the place. And so we've seen through 70 plus human clinical studies that astaxanthin benefits through its antioxidant capacity, anti-inflammatory properties, mitochondrial support, and blood flow benefits throughout the body.
And endurance. I mean, like I was putting in 25-hour days taking care of this person, and it's
Awesome.
Wonderful.
I didn't have those surges and drops that one might get with energy drinks.
Oh yes, that it's definitely something that you need to maintain. So the way that astaxanthin works is it's a fat soluble nutrient. You want to continue to take a consistent dose every day, and it's not, the way it works is not an energy spike like caffeine. It's about energy maintenance. I'm so happy to hear that it's been helping you. That's always our goal at Astareal, is to improve the quality of life for people. And so I'm so happy to hear from you. Thank you for sharing.
And one has to be very careful as we age. These energy drinks that are sometimes equivalent to 5 and 10 cups of coffee, too much caffeine can trigger atrial fibrillation, and ultimately you can stroke out. So that's another reason why we use astaxanthin in our Fortifeye Fit, and we have no caffeine in it at all. We have no stimulants because we want that clean energy. We don't want that hyped energy. We don't want that stimulant that can literally trigger a heart arrhythmia. So, Margaret, thanks a lot for that call. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the Astareal. I mean, it is it's my desert island.
Oh gosh, well, that's very motivating for me. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, and keep us posted, okay?
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctors. Dr. Michael Lange, Dr. Karen Hecht, and also, I was going to say Dr. Mandy Baker. She's an official doctor now, Mandy Baker.
Congratulations.
From Fortifeye Vitamins.
Thanks.
Give us a call at
goodness.
1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. I got to chime in. My mom is 96 years old. She's been on Fortifeye Focus ever since I've developed it. Now she's actually changed to Fortifeye Focus and Brain because it has everything Fortifeye Focus has in it, but we added the citicoline. And you saw Mom just the other day for the first time in probably many years, haven't you?
Oh my goodness, she was awesome. I saw her yesterday evening. She's great, sitting on the back porch holding her cup of chocolate milk. It was great. She's very alert and just carrying on a conversation. She's amazing.
She doesn't look 96,
Not
does she?
at all. Not at all. She's amazing.
Yeah, when we go out, sometimes people think that she's my wife. You ain't listening.
No, she's wonderful. No, she looks great. She looks like she's in her 70s, really, honestly.
Right, she does. So Mom's been on Fortifeye Focus, and she's on our Fortifeye Fit as well. So she should be the poster child for Fortifeye Vitamins. So once again, I got everybody listening, staying tuned right now. The ears are perked up because we're talking about sarcopenia. And where the Lange Eye Institute is in the villages is golf cart central and geriatric. The geriatric population is very high. So 55 and above. I don't think 55 is geriatric. I think maybe 96. Mom's geriatric. But lower than 96, you're not geriatric yet. But anyway, as we get older, all right, you become flabbier, you become weaker, muscle tone dies. This is called sarcopenia or muscle wasting. There is some clinical evidence. You have some studies that have shown that astaxanthin may be beneficial for sarcopenia.
That's right. Yeah. So sarcopenia is just a natural progressive loss in muscle mass and quality. Actually, it starts in your 30s. You lose about 1% muscle mass a year, starting sometime in your 30s. And so it's really, there's a lot of reasons for it, right? So our endogenous antioxidant capacity goes down, blood flow efficiency goes down, the way that we absorb and process amino acids or protein in the gut changes with age. So there's a lot of reasons for it, but what we've seen is that in a study of individuals 65 to 85 years old, They were supplementing with astaxanthin for a month. And it was actually, that study used 12 milligrams astaxanthin together with tocotrienols, zinc, and a little bit of vitamin D. And they then started a 3-month functional strength and endurance training program. So normally it's very difficult to get gains at that age from an exercise program. And the individuals in the placebo group who were just doing the exercise didn't see any significant changes compared to baseline after the 3 months were over. But in the astaxanthin group, they saw a 14% increase in maximum voluntary contraction of a leg muscle. So that's muscle strength. They saw almost a 3% increase in the cross-sectional area of the leg muscle that was measured by MRI. And they saw almost 12% increase in specific force, which is kind of an indicator of muscle quality. So we get more fat infiltrating the muscle. And so basically they just took the ratio of the muscle strength and the cross-sectional area, and that gives them specific force. How much of that strength is coming from muscle instead of that fat that's infiltrating the muscle tissue. So exciting to see that there is a dietary intervention that can help you get more out of your training, out of your exercise, whether that's you're out walking, out for a walk or something a little bit more intense. It's so important to stay mobile as you age, because it does really improve your quality of life. And again, exercise is this multi-system intervention. So if there's anything that we can do from a dietary perspective to add to that toolkit to help keep us mobile, it does improve our quality of life as we age for longer. Health span, increasing our health span.
Amen. So we're getting ready to take the next call in just a second. Remember, Fortifeye Fit has that BOGO, buy one, get one free on the strawberry watermelon cream. Remember, there's no artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavors. We're using creatine that has been clinically studied for sarcopenia, branched chain amino acids, something called betaine anhydrose, and astaxanthin. There is some science on all 4 of those nutrients helping sarcopenia. And I think that they work synergistically together. Literally, we've got thousands and thousands of people on Fortifeye Fit now. Many of them are very old and many of them are very young. We've got some world-class and world champion athletes taking the Fortifeye Fit as well. So they definitely have told me that it is working, helping with muscle synthesis, strength, and endurance. So we have been talking about astaxanthin on the show today, and we're going back to the phones. I think it's Ron in Tampa. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hi, good morning. First of all, I want to give a big kudos to Mandy.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, great. How you doing?
I'm good.
She's an outstanding employee. Just to let you know that I had an issue with an order. She was more than, I don't have the words. She took care of it. Email me immediately, and I'm a very, very happy customer, just to let you know that.
Oh, thank you for calling in and saying that. You're awesome. Thank you.
Oh, no, you deserve that and more. I mean, if I had a company, I will hire you immediately. Let me tell you that.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Number 2, question, which I don't think the doctor has ever touched on, and is liposuction. Liposuction for like special parts of the body.
Okay, so that's if you want a fast way to get rid of some of the fatty tissue in your body, okay? When you get pinched more than an inch. And, many physicians do this, especially plastic surgeons and cosmetic surgeons. And I think in the hands of a competent, trained specialist, a physician, I think it's a good idea if you want, a quicker way out. However, I always recommend diet, exercise, all right? Hydration, sleep. Remember, a pound is 3,500 calories. And so in order to lose a pound, you have to burn more calories or eat less. So you do a little bit of both of those, right? You eat a little less and you eat the right foods, the foods on the Lange survival diet, and you get out and walk around the block or put a stationary bicycle in front of the TV in the, air conditioned home. So you burn more calories and eat less. That pound comes off pretty quickly. I mean, I've had people that have lost 100 pounds in 5 months, on the Lange survival diet and doing a little bit of extra exercise. We do have something that helps you a little bit, and it's a bundle. It's called the Healthy Weight Loss Bundle. So it's by Fortifeye Healthy Weight Loss Bundle. It comes with enzymes, probiotics, our superfood, and our protein. And it talks about the diet on the website. It talks about everything in a lot more detail. even shows you some pictures. So you're probably asking this because you or somebody wants to take a little pound off, right?
That's the reason why I was asking.
Absolutely. If you find a bodybuilding contest, do have that done. Just the same way a lot of people have implants put in. I'm as natural as possible. I don't want anybody doing anything to me unless race car hit the wall and a bone sticking out my neck. Then I like to go to the doctor for those. I try to do it as natural as.
Okay. Well, thank you much for the advice as always, and everyone have a great weekend. Thanks
You
very
too.
much.
You take care.
Thanks for the call. Wow. This time went by way too
Is that the
fast.
Is that the countdown right there?
The countdown, yeah.
Oh
We
my
have about a
goodness.
minute. We wanted to talk more about Fortifeye Focus and Brain, but we're going to have you back, Dr. Hecht and Mandy, to come and we'll talk more about that. So I want to take this opportunity, Dr. Hecht. Do you want to say anything in closing?
Yes, if you want to learn more about astaxanthin, visit astarealusa.com and astaxanthin.net. And we have more studies coming out, so I am sure that we'll have more to talk about. Thank you all for your interest. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Lange.
Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh. She's like the highlight
Mandy,
of
can
like
you give you the phone number for anybody to call if they want to talk to you about anything?
Sure. 866-503-9746.
That's 866-503-9746. Remember the go. Fortifeye Strawberry Watermelon Cream. Buy one, get one free. And remember the Super Omega.
It's the original Super Omega.
The original Super
Not the
Omega,
Max.
not the Max. Buy one, get one free. That is gone next week. So we have one more week to do it. So take advantage of this. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to Ask the Doctor. Once again, I want to thank Dr. We're out of here. God bless America.